Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today I'm here with Ben and Isaac, and we're actually doing a modification to our sheet mineral. And this is going to be a pretty intense description of our Free Choice Enterprise minerals and what they do. I've never done this before, but I've got some willing participants that I kind of convinced to do this. So Ben's going to go through each one of these minerals. But first of all, I wanted to show you what we did here. We actually made a modification. This rubber top here, this is for cattle. And the way it worked was this rubber top had lag bolts here on the top. And the cattle would pull this up and get their mineral in there. Okay. Well, I got the thinner top for the sheep because I was a little bit concerned about sheep picking that heavy belting up. And it was all good until we lambed. And when we started lambing, well, the lambs got a little bigger. We actually found a dead lamb with his head. Well, you want to show your hand?
My hand or my head?
Yeah, the lamb got his, like there, he got his head in there.
Went in there to eat.
And then that flap used to set clear down on that. And the little lambs play on top of there. So our theorizing was a little lamb had his head in there and the others were jumping around on top. And actually got his head stuck in there, and it either broke his neck or something, but he was dead. So we immediately took the mineral out of the sheep paddock, and we decided we need to make a modification. So, boys, you want to pull that big rubber top off and show people what we did? So the original flap that they just took off used to set clear down here, okay? And so now we've raised it up, and we've brought these gusset, little, you might say, rafters out here for that tarp to set on. So now we've got a 4-inch, yeah, right there. We got a 4-inch opening all the way down the side. So if a lamb does have his head in there, he can pull it out. He's not going to get his head stuck. And this was an idea of actually Ben and Isaac. They kind of brainstormed this together, and I'm tickled to death the way it turned out. We used our cedar that we mill here on the farm, so we didn't have to buy anything. We had all the mineral, or all the raw lumber. And then we put these straps on here just to make it stouter, and ran this 2x6. So we raised it actually 6 inches. This is a 2x6 right here. And then we put a 2x4 on top, so that's 8. And now we've got a lot better angle coming down.
It came up 8 inches, I think.
Is that 8 inches altogether?
Yeah, 8 inches.
Okay. So we got a better angle. The rain's going to come off there better. It's not going to pool. It can't pool. It's too steep. And if a lamb jumps up on that, the little guy down here's got his head under there. He still can pull his head out with it getting stuck in there. So we're very hopeful of this modification. We'll let you know how it does as we go along. But while we had it off, I had the boys take some ear tags, and we drew on them exactly what the minerals are. Because this mineral feeder came with it.
They're old ones.
They're old ones.
Yeah.
They're old tags that we didn't use. This mineral feeder came with these things ingrained in here, and I didn't like them. You can't hardly read the darn things. And so we actually screwed on the ID of each one of these. And so Ben, I think I'm going to move over to Ben now. We're going to go through these, and he's going to read off. How many minerals do we have in there, guys?
16 or 17, I think it was.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Is that including the salt?
That's not including the salt.
18.
So one of those boxes in there is just plain livestock salt, loose salt. So Ben, what are we going to start with?
So there's like a couple different kinds of minerals, you could say. The first is just, it'd be a straight up mineral. So you have like S, for example, which is just sulfur, or Si, which is silicon. But then you have those straight up minerals, and I think there's about 8 or 10 of those, and we'll talk about those in a second.
So let's go through all the tags, and then we can go back to your sheet.
Yeah.
How's that?
Sure, but then I just want to say really quickly, so there's the straight minerals like SSI, there's a bunch of other ones, there's about 8 of them.
Yep.
Then you have trace minerals,
Yep.
which is a different sort of mix, which is your TB, TA, and we'll talk about those. And then you have your acid and your alkaline neutralizers. There's one of each, and then there's a vitamin mix.
Okay.
So that's sort of the general like classes of what we got. We can go through them now though.
Okay.
So The first one, let's
S.
see. Well,
Sulfur.
just find them because it's going to be hard for me to flip back and forth and find
Sulfur.
Phosphorus.
Okay, phosphorus.
Phosphorus. P.
Right here. So we got P right here.
So this is from what's this book, by the way?
This is Free Choice Enterprises. This is where we get our mineral. This was Mark Bader's company. Mark's dad started this company back in the 50s. They're up in Wisconsin. And Mark passed away about 2 years ago. But the family and his son-in-law and daughters are keeping it going, and his wife. And they've been at it for, 50, 60 years, maybe longer. So they kind of know what they're doing.
So I'm just reading from the book.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so each one has function, effects of excessive use of the mineral, effects of a deficiency of the mineral, and then the conditions like favoring or enhancing the absorption of the mineral. So the function of phosphorus is necessary for bone formation, as well as fat and carbohydrate metabolism. It produces components of ATP and DPN+, glucose 1-phosphate, phosphoproteins, phospholipids, and nucleic acids. So that's the function.
Okay.
And then the effects of excess phosphorus is increased need for iron, aluminum, calcium, and magnesium, and poor skeletal growth. And then effects of a deficiency would be deficiency created by excess calcium, magnesium, iron, and aluminum, or phytin phosphorus, an insoluble calcium magnesium salt of phytic acid present in some grains that non-ruminant animals cannot digest. Milk fever, vaginal infections, no/delayed heat period, silent heat period, or prolonged interval between calving and first heat period. Inhibits hormones which produce the heat period, low egg and sperm counts, decreases in fat and carbohydrate production, severe deficiencies in skeletal deformities, rickets, reduced thoracic cavity, growth retardation, restricts voluntary activity. And then the conditions favoring or enhancing phosphorus absorption would be presence of potassium, relatively low calcium, iron, strontium, magnesium, beryllium, and acid media. So that's
well, that
phosphorus.
is a mouthful.
I know. It might be.
I don't think we need to go through that on every one of them.
Reading it, I think it's going to take too long, and it's going to be.
I'm going to give you all a
beneficial.
tip. If you want to know what each one does,
Yeah.
go to Free Choice Enterprises website.
Yep.
And they've got this exact book that Ben's reading out of.
And it's got them for all the minerals.
Every single mineral in there.
And then the vitamins, there's a whole section on vitamins.
Yep.
So
and it really, it's an eyeful. I've been around a lot of sharp people in my years, and I'd say Mark Bader and Ian Mitchell-Ennis are right up there at the very top. And those two like to really give each other a lot of kidding back and forth, but they're both very, very sharp people. But as far as animal nutrition, as far as what's going on grass with a ruminant animal, there's nobody that was any sharper than Mark Bader. And I've met a lot of people, but Mark could absolutely nail whatever was affecting your cows. If you had a health issue, he could tell you what it was and how to fix it. He was that good. We'll miss Mark.
Do you want to just read them off then?
yeah.
Yeah, let's read them off. So on this side, we've got, go ahead, Isaac.
We got, is it silicone? Or no, that's sulfur.
That's sulfur.
Sulfur is right here.
Yep.
Si is silicone.
Silicon.
Silicon.
Yeah.
Um,
I is iodine.
Okay.
Yep. Ca is
It's
calcium.
calcium. And Cb is also calcium, but they're slightly different.
Okay.
Mg.
Magnesium. Phosphorus.
Tb is one of those trace mineral mixes. It has zinc, manganese, and cobalt, along with a couple other things in there.
Okay.
OH is the
OH
acid,
is the
acid neutralizer has calcium, magnesium, and sodium.
Okay, so with OH, folks, what happens here, if the cow goes acidic, she can come over here and take a little bit of that OH and bring her rumen back to a level of 7. And Ian has always mentioned this, and Bader did too. If you can keep the rumen pH at neutral, everything works better. They come into heat, they get bred, they put on weight, the cows don't get sick, the calves don't get sick, there's no scours. So the pH in the cow's rumen is exclusively vitally important to keeping good animal performance every single day. So that's a cool one, the OH. Animals can self-balance.
So
Okay.
CL is the opposite of OH.
What's it do?
So it's an alkaline neutralizer.
So if their stomach gets alkaline, they can bring it back toward the acid a little bit. Okay.
It smells a little bit like vinegar.
In the
kinda.
mineral shed, you walk in there, you're like, makes your nose kind of pop. It's like you can tell there's some acid in there.
Okay, what's Na do?
Na is sodium.
Okay.
V4 is the vitamin mix. So that's vitamins A, D, and E.
They're all mixed together?
All mixed together.
Okay. And TC?
TC is another trace mineral, similar to the other one we just looked at.
Okay.
Selenium, Se. K is potassium. Cu is copper.
Okay, now that's one that everybody says will kill sheep.
Yeah.
Why we got it in there then?
Because it helps with parasites, right?
Yes.
And they're not going to take more than they need.
That's correct. It's not mixed in with your cattle mineral. Cattle mineral, the copper's in there at too high a level. Sheep can reach in and get just what they need. They're not going to overeat on it because they know it'll kill them. Okay, what's the next one?
Plain old salt.
That's just loose livestock salt, isn't it? Yep.
And then TA is another trace mineral, similar to the TC and TB.
I want to go back to selenium. This is one that we're really low in our soils, and Gerald Fry did some studies on this years ago, and I know other researchers did as well. It's hard to get enough selenium into especially our cows, and if you can get that selenium level correct in your cattle, you have a lot higher fertility rates, a lot better breed back. So cows are going through selenium on our farm. But here's the cool thing, folks. We've been on this program since 2008 with the cow herd. We just started it with the sheep last fall. So we haven't been on it very long with the sheep. And on the cattle, our mineral consumption has gone down quite a bit. And the theory behind this whole thing is the animals know what they need. They come in here, they eat exactly what they need. They poop out about 85 to 90% of this mineral right back onto the land. And then over time, your plants will have the correct mineral percentages in them, and your cattle aren't going to have to eat as much mineral from your mineral feeder. Ian calls this his traveling laboratory. So the animals are the lab workers. They know exactly what they need. And people say, but wait a minute, no, cattle can't do that. They're not that smart. They don't know what they need. Well, I think they do. Because we fill this thing up. Some of these minerals they don't touch hardly at all, and others they tear them up.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen it on better land, like the Judy farm, they won't eat it as much. Because we have better mineralization in our soils. We've had it longer, we've taken better care of it, or good care of it. And
just a factor of time.
Yeah, a factor of time. We've had it 20-some plus years. Some of these farms we've had 3 to 4 years. And the reason we got them, they were bankrupt. Minerally bankrupt. People had taken all the hay off for 20 years, turned the whole farm to broom sedge, and that's what I'm telling you. You can't magically put animals out onto broken land and expect them to eat the forage out there and make a living for you. If it doesn't have any mineral in the soil, you can't magically just pull it out of thin air. So with this program, I would rather put it in this box and go out here and just buy a bunch of minerals and throw them on the ground, not knowing exactly what the cows need. So here, the cows are doing it for us.
You want to talk about how we transport it other than dragging it like with the Dodge?
Yeah. So go ahead, guys.
So we got these eyelets here, and we'll take, what is it?
We'll each grab onto one of them and lift it.
Yeah, right.
We take, what is it, paracord?
Yeah, it's a parachute cord.
And we use the hydro bed, back it up and lower the...
What's a hydro bed?
It's what you'd use like on a truck bed to lift the bales up and roll them.
We're fortunate we have one of those.
Yep. And then so we'll tie them on each end and wrap it around and lift it up and set it on the truck and take it to where we need and then unload it. And what was it you used to use? You used to use a come-along and a trailer?
I use a two-ton come-along and a set of ramps and a little two-wheel trailer, and I'd get it started up on those ramps and start jacking on it. And part of the times these runners would hook, and I bent my ramps up, and boy, it was a bear getting off that trailer. We'd have to hook a chain on it and take off with the truck and yank it off the trailer. And
it's heavy.
Yeah, this thing's heavy. No, you can't pick. Don't hurt your back.
Kind of budge it a little bit.
Yeah, you're stout, but don't be messing your back up. We got a lot of work to do, Isaac. We don't want you boogering your back up. We do have a heavy-duty log chain on the front. It does come with wood runners on it, and we put steel runners. So this got steel plate down here. That guards that runner from getting rubbing off on your rock. So if you can buy one, take it into somebody, let them put some angle iron on the bottom of that. That'll save that, and that feeder will probably last you your lifetime. Because it is all white oak, the main frame is, and it's got plywood compartments separating all the different minerals. And then we added all this cedar to the top of it. So I'm really anxious to get the top put back on it and get this out to our sheep. And hopefully we don't have any more casualties with the lambs. I think we got it fixed. So we'll check back with y'all and we'll let you know how this is working. Anything else, guys, that I left out?
That's about it. Sums it up.
Okay. Well, thank you, boys, for helping being part of that and helping me get this thing going. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Everybody, hit that subscribe button on the way out and the like, and we'll check y'all out down the road.